everyone. I'm Nathaniel Sperry with FCI Constructors. I'm a senior project manager on the Northglenn Civic Center project. So right now we're standing at the Veterans Memorial. It's right adjacent to Memorial Parkway, which is the main vein to feed to the new Civic Center project. Currently, we're about 50% of the way through the project. The building itself is mostly shelled out. We're setting the last few pieces of steel currently, and through the end of the following week, we'll be having our topping out ceremony. All of the site activities are in progress and generally to the final grade. We'll be doing the hardscapes and landscapes into the spring of 2021. So if you'll follow me, I'll show you the rest of the project. So right now we're standing right where the future stage is going to be. Adjacent to us here is the electrical enclosure that powers the stage and then feeds all the power to the various conduits you see sticking up here. There will be outlets for the lights for the trees for seasonal lighting, and then there'll also be food truck stations. So we'll be walking down along Festival Lawn, kind of approaching the main entrance to the rec side of the building. All of that's going to remain parking. You're going to have concrete sidewalks bordering your lawn, and then the lawn will have a pull through as well, like about midway, 2/3 of the way down through it. There's going to be lots of outdoor seating, various types of seating, just a lot of general gathering spaces for people to be able to enjoy the lawn. And the lawn pretty much continues clear up past this dirt pile to the edge of the perpendicular road to Memorial Parkway. So at the end of Memorial Parkway here, we really have two entrances to the building. The main rec entrance is going to be over here on my left. You'll be able to pull up and drop off folks at grade elevation. If you're going to go to the theater, you'll want to take a left at the end of Memorial Parkway and go to the south parking lot, and you'll be able to enter the building from the south side, still at a grade level entry. So let's go into the rec through the area of the main entry point. There's a large area of concrete paving, there's asphalt paving abutting that, and then there'll be some really nice Agri-Tex finished concrete as you enter into the rec entrance. So once we're done, we'll be moving one of the sculptures from the current rec center to the same front entry point of the new rec center. So from the front entry point, you'll come to the control desk. As you can see here, you'll have a nice 2-story volume where you'll have exposure to the second floor fitness area. The track is coming through the gymnasium right across here above that desk. Adjacent to that, you'll have your indoor play area, and you'll have 2 poolside classrooms right off of that counter. So once we come down the hallway, there's a stair that you can take to the second level fitness area, and then adjacent to that will be all the locker rooms, men's locker rooms, women's locker rooms, and cabana areas that all feed into both the leisure and the lap pool. There's also an elevator that'll take you up to your second floor fitness area and the track. To our left is the entrance, main entrance to the gymnasium. And everything in the back there is going to be your mechanical, electrical rooms and kind of back of house. So each of these areas will have rooms for cabanas for family to pass through, women's locker rooms and men's locker rooms that all filter into both the leisure and the lap pool through a common corridor. All right, so through the locker rooms and into the connecting corridor, we'll be entering the lap pool first. So this is the lap pool. It'll have 6 lanes. Adjacent to this pool will be your pool storage room and your guard office. So the leisure pool is directly adjacent to the lap pool, also accessible from the corridor from any of the locker rooms or the cabanas. There's a 0 entry to the leisure pool. There's a lazy river, there's a warm water area, lots of benches. There'll be lots of different play features, and of course in the corner there you can see where we've got the slide tower structure completed for where the slide will go out of the building and it comes back in on the run out that's along the north wall. So adjacent to the locker rooms and cabanas is the gymnasium. The gymnasium is right about 11,000 square feet. It's got the running track coming through it. It'll have a divider curtain, basketball hoops, bleachers at each end. So we'll go through the back hallway through the maintenance access to see the west side of the building. We have the scissor trusses over the fitness area. We've got a lot of the exterior veneer started on this west side, and you can see we've started most of the grade work over here and are hoping to pave all of this drive lane within the next few weeks. So we'll be walking up to the scene shop entry, which is a big overhead roll-up door, 10 feet tall. There also is an artist entry at the back of house. We have a dust collector with a screen wall, and adjacent right here we see the community patios. We'll be going in through the artist entry. So we could take you up to the community rooms from here, but what we really want to look at is the back of house of the theater, the rehearsal room, solo room, dressing room, green room, prop storage, scene shop, and all the functions that happen for the programs behind the scenes. So through the artist entry down this corridor, to our left is going to be the scene shop, and right adjacent to that is going to be the prop storage area. We've got a couple offices adjacent to us here. As we're moving down, we'll go and see the sound and light lock that gets you access to the theater. The rehearsal room is in here. It'll have the same floor as the stage, and you'll have a couple solo rooms right adjacent. Moving on back, we'll have the restrooms, and moving into the green room, and there'll be storage off of the rehearsal room, and then across corridor underneath the seating area above. And through this cross aisle here, there'll be theater seating right above us. So through this area, we'll be going through the green room. There's 2 rehearsal rooms right adjacent to that. Through those rehearsal rooms, we'll be entering into the wardrobe storage. So we're going through one of the rehearsal rooms here. There'll be a counter and mirrors and lights for makeup and everything. And that, right adjacent to that, we have this common space going right into wardrobe storage. All right, so we're gonna head over to the preschool. There's a good line of sight from the control desk down this corridor. There'll be a magnet board here where we can display all of the artwork. And there's 2 entry points, one on either side going into each of the different preschool areas. So for the preschool, we have an indoor play area that was based on a space theme and an outdoor play area that was based on an agricultural theme, all from public input. That whole area back in there will be a play surface, there'll be a barn structure, and a few other amenities. So this is that preschool area again. After you come down Memorial Parkway, you take a left, you'll be heading to the theater. You can kind of see the fence that's going to separate the parking from the outdoor play areas. There'll be parking all along the east side of the theater area here, clear over to the senior patio. So right now we're in the south parking lot. This is going to be your main entry point to the theater, senior center, and community rooms. We're going to have a really nice entryway here. Let's go check it out. So at the vestibule, you can either go to the senior center, go through to the community rooms and the catering kitchen, or through the main entry to the theater lobby. There'll be an art piece that hangs from the main beam here. It'll take up a large volume of this ceiling space. The theater lobby, you'll be able to go right to the box office. On either side of the box office is entry points into the theater. So let's go over to the senior center. In the senior center, we'll have an office, a bookshelf, a countertop, and a nice lounge space. So right adjacent to the lounge space is the activity room and the senior patio. Let's walk back through the vestibule to the community rooms. So adjacent to the community rooms is the catering kitchen. The community room can be opened up to be one large room for big events or 3 small rooms depending on your occupant size. So let's go back out to the lobby and through the entry point to the theater. So right here is where the control booth is going to be to control all the audio and video for the theater. You'll have your catwalk up and around. All of these metal poles and scaffolding will be gone. It's just what we're using to build at the higher elevation that we do first, and then we take those down and build all the rest of the finishes up from the bottom. You can see the theater risers going all the way down to the stage and the proscenium wall. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for the tour of the Northglenn Recreation Center, Senior Center, and Theater. We're excited to be able to show you the midpoint of construction and even more excited to open this facility for you guys in late 2021.